talks are going on and all. But in middle of all this, again, an act of arson takes place. Several houses are burned in a village, in a Meitei village, Dolai Thabi. Do you think that this will help calm the nerves, or like the central security forces are yet to get a complete hang of how the security in Manipur is unraveling?
I'm very clear about three things here. The Kuki militants have to be handled with a very hard hand. Why should we have suspension of operations agreement continuing with some people who have got down on ground and killed people? They have broken the mutual trust. They have started operation. If they have started operation, which means killing of innocent Meiteis, in that case, the army and the security forces should also suspend their suspension of operations agreement, and they should restart operations. The Kuki militants are complicating the problem. Look at this. There's so much Meitei Kuki bad blood flowing. But the Meitei militants, the PLA, the UNLF, as I've told in your shows before, they have maintained their position. They have talked of an Indian revolution first, and they talked of independent Manipur, in which they see everybody as part of the thing. They have not gone and attacked Kuki villages. The PLA, the UNLF, my good friends like Praveen Manohar Mayum, who now heads the organization of Bharat Chauran, or Tamo Megan, very revered leader, who, these people have not gone and told their people, go and shoot cookies. Why the cookies militants will take out guns and shoot innocent Meiteis? So these chaps have to be handled with a very hard hand. Thank you very much. No more SOO with you. Our chaps will come for you. They will hit you. Number one. Number two, there has to be an attempt to start a dialogue between Kuki organizations and Meitei organizations, even the civil society types. Organizations such as the Meitei World Group, which Navakishorji represents, should be part of the talking process. They should do the back channel, talking before the main political leaders get into action. Because as you go for hard counterinsurgency action, you also have to start the process of dialogue, which is essential in a democracy. And I've said this again and again, that General J.J. Singh, my good friend, the former army chief, used to say, iron fist in velvet glove. So you need to flaunt the velvet glove, but sometimes you need to take it off and show the iron fist. So those who are creating trouble have to be hammered, and the Kuki militants are becoming a nuisance. The Kukis don't have any problem with them. A lot of them are very sensible people. They want a dialogue with the Meiteis because their common people have to come to Imphal. They have to come to Imphal Valley. So they can't afford to, mess around. What will a Kuki do sitting in Churachandpur? To take a flight to Delhi or Calcutta, where they have to come? They have to come to Imphal. Huh? So common Kukis are not doing this. It's this Kuki militants and some vested interests who are not allowing the problem to settle down. We are not allowing the normalcy to return. Enemies of normalcy should be treated as enemies of the state, and they have to be hit very hard. So no suspension of operation agreement anymore. You started your operation, which was killing of innocents. We start our operations to hit you. One, and secondly, the back channel dialogue. Finally, I am saying again, India has to take a major step in the reconciliation process, peacemaking in Myanmar. If Myanmar is on the boil, it is going to spill over into Manipur. The drug lords who can't cultivate or can't get the poppy crop, they will come here and encourage farmers to do poppy. And therefore, we must, as a regional power, not just be very happy beating our drum, हमने G20 कर दिया, ये कर दिया. अरे भैया, आप G20 का प्रेसिडेंट हैं. आप यूक्रेन में पीस मेकिंग का बात करते हैं, म्यांमार में क्यों नहीं? म्यांमार इज नेक्स्ट डोर. वहां का आग आपके घर में आ रहा है, आप उसको तो संभालिए. एंड लास्ट बट नॉट द लीस्ट, ब्रिटिश, something that is very, very important. And I've said this again. In this peacemaking process, the dialogue, different civil society organizations, different celebrities, sports personalities, different important gender activists like Veena Lakshmi Nefram, they have to be brought in. These women have to be brought in. The women factor is very important. I keep saying this not just because I'm a compulsive feminist, but because women are peacemakers, they are procreators. Men are troublemakers, they are predators. And I'm saying this as a man. Thank you.
Okay, we are also joined by Mr. W.L. Hangshing, who is the General Secretary of Kuki People Alliance. Welcome, sir. Welcome to News 9 Live. My first question to you would be, how do you react to this latest set of violence which happened on late Friday afternoon? In a village, Dolai Thabi, which is a Meitei village, several houses were burned and arsons were carried out inside the village by Kuki militant. You also heard, Subir Bhaumik, who's also saying that, Kuki militants have to be dealt with iron hand. How do you respond to all of these?
Well, I came in a little late, so I really don't know what went on, but I just heard a little bit of my previous speaker just now. I think what his opinion is built on very bookish and newspaper media knowledge. He has not been on the ground. I don't think he has been there on the ground and seen the reality of the conflict there. And what I understand is that suspected Kuki militants are shooting. Now they don't shoot just like that. The other side of the picture which I read is that there were Meitei militants. When we say Meitei militants, we know that these are armed by the state government themselves, and they have been moving around in literally in uniform, and they have been taunting the Dolai Thabi which you mentioned. I think they are in the foothills, which are face to face with the hill villages, the Kuki villages. So there have been a confrontation over there, and these valley armed people have been come 3 times already, and on the third occasion they fired back. Now you're talking only about Kuki militants firing. I think it is we're not sure whether it is these. And Mr. Bhaumik already jumps to the conclusion that these are the people who involved in Sioux talks. Now you have to understand who are the people involved in Sioux talk, and there are also militants meaning Kuki organizations with guns who are not involved in Sioux talks. And also you have to go to the genesis of Kuki militants. There were never any Kuki militants. We were already disarmed. Every Kuki person was disarmed by the British after the Second World War. We were without guns. We didn't get licenses. I mean, it is traditionally the Kuki man would be with a gun. A man was not a man unless he had a gun in those days. After the defeat, we were defeated by the British in the Anglo-Kuki War, and again in the 1940s, the Second World War, when the INA was defeated, we were disarmed. We don't have any guns, and this necessity arose in the conflict in the early 90s, when by force of circumstances people had to arm themselves, and when youngsters get armed, it is difficult to disarm them, and they are remnants, and the cause of their existence is not a rebel. They are not insurgents like the Meitei insurgents and the other insurgents. We are not insurgents. We are only fighting for our rights within the constitution. We have been asking for little concessions from the Manipur government of district council powers, a little bit of sixth schedule, a little bit of regional adjustment in terms of delimitation. There has been no, as if we don't exist. The Imphal government has been Meitei centric. It is valley centric. Imphal is just part, Plum Hill part, Parom part, all those. That is the concept of Manipur. They don't think of the hills as part of Manipur. Only now they're saying Manipur. When